Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, what's up and what's going on? Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Back in here with another Saturday show. Shout out to everybody in the building. Those that make it in early, drop a comment. SKC with the first comment says, turn against black people or turn against niggas who embrace debased culture. Let's go, Anna. The thing with that, or the catch with that, is they were defending the shit for so long because they didn't want to appear like they were standing against black people. They wanted to appear to be standing with black people. That's why they were defending rioters and looters, or trying to minimize it or diminish it, even when the whole country was practically burning to the ground. So yeah. So in a roundabout way, it is turning against or not standing with black people. I just did some content on that. And you asked a real good question right off the top rope. I just did some content on that where Stephen A. Smith, where everybody was calling the coon and everything, he was debating his former co-host Max Kellerman, and they said that he was criticizing the rioters, and Max Kellerman, who turned home and said, Stephen A. Max is blacker than you. Max Kellerman was like, well, in a roundabout way, he said the black people, they don't own nothing. They don't own those communities anyway, and this country has been rioting against them for so long. So yes, it's something about the liberal white person. When they want to stand with black people, they think they have to defend some of the worst behavior of black people. Thus, they don't know that's the soft bigotry of low expectations. They don't realize they're being racist while doing that, because they wouldn't make the same statement with anybody else doing that. So yeah, but no, good question right up the top rope. We will work our way back to that one. Shout out to Hood. Says Anna's so fucking sexy when she's mad at niggas. You want to explain yourself on that one?
I don't need to explain myself.
Okay.
It is what it is. I said what I said.
Want to know what's funny? In this video here, she do look better in this video than in the older videos I'm going to pull up when she was defending the debauchery and rioters and looters. She is looking better now. so you might be on to something.
Before I'm done, Anna's gonna be my right wing bad bitch.
Well, let me shout out everybody else in the building. Appreciate all y'all coming through the RM saying you must stay focused, my brother. That's what that's what Umar say whenever he go to he was saying that in when he was, I think he was in Brazil somewhere. The Latinas all of a sudden became African when he got down there, according to him. But shout out to
he was in the Dominican Republic. Yeah, I saw him. All of a sudden, we brown and black.
But Freshest in Class in the building says good morning to everyone. Jay in the building, Andre in the building. Shout out to you. Eclectic Agitator in the building. Shout out to you. Says rise and shine. I'm here for this. Absolutely. Shout out to KP from KC5 in the building. Shout out to David Tyler in the building. Says they didn't want to look like Republicans. Yeah, that's a big part of it too. That's absolutely a big part of it. Shout out to Captain Cisco. Shout out to who else we got in here? Almost made it to the bottom of the list. Maxwell Max, Dr. Thunder in the building. Shout out to you, and shout out to Forever Blessed and Darth Low IQ. All right, I think I got to everybody. So, all right. Let's get into this thing. Especially thanks to shout out to Machismo TV as well. Especially thanks to shout out to Machismo TV. His link should be pinned to the top. If it's not right now, it'll be pinned eventually to the top. Make sure you hop on that. But gotta throw it to Hood Conservative on another great topic for this Saturday show. So go ahead and set us up before we dive right into the video on this one. Go ahead.
Now, I remember a conversation you and I were having a few streams ago. I don't know however many moons ago this was, but we were talking, race relations and race politics, and I pointed out to you that right now the black crime, the black dysfunction, and all that has cover from white liberals. And what I said to you was that once the white liberal begins to realize that they are essentially a food source for the urban inner city criminal, they'll begin to turn out of pure self-interest. It has nothing to do with anything altruistic. They're just gonna get tired of getting robbed and stabbed and beat up. I have a theory. You know why weed is legal now? Because white people get tired of buying weed from niggas in the projects and getting mistreated and shit. So you ever went to a dispensary, bro? It's so nice. They're so smiley and friendly. And I think that was the whole point. They wanted to just take they just wanted to cut the whole middleman out, cut the nigga man out.
The nigga man out. You kind of, you in a roundabout way, at least that's where my mind went when you were saying what you were saying. It's a video. I didn't cover it. You probably touched on it about some guy, seemed like a really great guy. Him and his girlfriend, they were like, the classic typical white liberal activists, and in a random chance event, he got stabbed. It's like that's what happened. They said the guy who did it had a history of some mental issues or whatever his problem was, but he was just walking. He kicked a random motorcycle down and then turned around, and the first person he saw, he just walked up on him, and then he started, shit went back and forth, and then I missed some details.
Untrue. Okay. Yes, there's a critical detail. There's a critical detail here. Because I was going to cover this. And I decided I would try to actually fold this story into today's story, because there's been a spate of that sort of thing where liberal activists, like actual boots on the ground liberal activists, they got the social media history to back it up. They've been brutally murdered by their pets, the people that they try to save and take care of and shit. And so there's been 3 like relatively high profile stories of this. And so the guy who you're talking about now, he was sitting on a bench in the Bronx with his girlfriend at like 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so this black kid, he was arguing with, they thought it was his girlfriend. It turns out that was his sister. And
Okay.
he was arguing with some girl off camera. And then whatever she said to him pissed him off. And he walks past the couple on the camera. And then you can see him like kicking the bike or whatever. And this fucking liberal idiot tries to intervene. Like, hey, bro, are you all right? You calm down. Like that kind of thing. And
Oh,
then he just went ape shit on him. And so he literally asked for his own death in that case. And I hate to say it like that, like nobody deserves it, but deserves got nothing to do with it. Like you really should have just left him the fuck alone. Like don't bother crazy people in the street at 4 in the morning, bro.
yeah. I mean, I can't remember if it was audio in the video, and I hated that the video. One, I mean, I guess every copy of the video I see is, I guess, edited because then they don't want to show the stabbing or whatever. So I guess I didn't look into it enough to piece together the full chronology of everything that happened. So I didn't even notice that he, gave the dude who walking around at 4 in the morning randomly kicking motorcycles. I didn't know he got up and gave him a, hey bro, what's going on? It's like, I didn't know he did that. Like that, yeah, that's you asking
bro.
for it. You asking for it.
And it sounds fucked up, right? Because listen, that's what he's supposed to do as a white savior. He tried to help. And he died doing what he loved. God damn. I'm sorry. It's kind of been like a little bit of an internet joke the last, and it's hard to feel that the sympathy I'm supposed to feel, because you know what? According to his vision of the world, that level of violence and crime, I'm supposed to be the one having to deal with that crazy nigga. But it was you this time, and he died doing what he loves.
He died doing what he loved. Captain Cisco in the building says, Bernard Riley, whenever the Power Rangers came on the scene in 1993, were you like me, still wanted to remain loyal to the Ninja Turtles? Oh no, it was room in my heart for both. I liked the Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers. I wasn't that you got to pick one. They weren't even rivals. They was in 2 different universes. I mean, one of them was some teenagers with some special power suits that they got from, I don't know where the hell Zordon came from, some alien robot head computer, and then the Ninja Turtles was in they in the sewer. They ain't even no overlap. Yeah, yeah. It ain't like Star Trek or Star Wars where it's like you kind of got to pick one in the realm of nerddom. Like no, I rocked with both. But thank you for putting 5 on it. But all right, we're about to get into the video so y'all can see what we're talking about here. Now, this is the Young Turks. This just a little backstory on the Young Turks as I understand them. One, they are in the realm of liberal to where they're not Democrats. They don't call themselves Democrats. They barely call themselves liberal. They're progressives. To them, the left isn't far left enough.
Actually, Bernard, one quick suggestion. I just sent you. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 minute video, but it's Meatball herself. And I think it would be better for our audience if we introduce Meatball first and then show Anna's reaction. Because listen, it's all about Meatball, bro. Everybody must eat.
All right.
So it's the very last email I sent you. The very last email I sent you was the young lady Meatball. Shout out to the Philly Meatball. She going places in life, y'all. And she is the person at the center of this whole thing. She was, I'm not going to blame the riots on her, but she was live streaming and basically encouraging the whole thing along. So she was at the heart of this whole thing. And I think we have to start out giving Meatball her props.
All right. So let's...
And then also, too, we got to show exactly what it is Anna is going to be talking about. So when Anna starts going off, this will be fresh in your mind as to why she's feeling the way she's feeling. And this is what I was talking about with the liberal thing. It's not just that some of their colleagues and cohorts are getting murdered by the blacks, right? It's also the stores that they shop in are no longer safe to shop in. The places that they were safe in, the little liberal gentrified bubbles of the bad parts of town, they're now bad too. There is no safe place. And I think this is starting to turn the tide of the media people. And we're watching it with Anna, and I'm seeing her as the first kind of shoot to fall. But I predicted this. It was inevitable, because no matter how much you love niggas, once the question becomes, do you love niggas enough to let them murder you? You might do different math. And here we are.
All right. Good call on that. Yeah, giving people the background with Meatball so they'll know the Marvel origin story of all of this. So yeah, definitely good call. So let's get into it. Let's go. And this is in Philly. I don't know why I'm just throwing Philly.
Yeah, this is like, throw Philly under the bus, man. I know I was picking on Chicago for so long. I was actually glad to pick on another city for a while. So shout out to Philly, man.
I guess it's gotten that bad in Philly because I don't know where this is from. I didn't know the backstory. I just said, it's Philly, right? just out the blue. So that's how bad it's gotten in Philly. But all right, let's go.
Yeah, that's a Broad Street bully right there. Shout out to Meatball.
They either lock me up tonight or it's gonna get lit. It's gonna be a movie.
Oh, just for those that don't know, she's a social media influencer who got how many 100,000 subscribers or followers, or
who knows? I don't even know. I've never heard of her.
I haven't either, but it's in the hundreds of thousands where her stuff. Like they're gonna say it on when we play the Young Turks clip. They're gonna say her exact numbers, but so. She posted this shit, but all right, let's go.
Yes, we need justice. Where y'all going at? Where we going at? Hold on, watch out. They going to the God one. Yo, what's that sound? That's the oh, this is crazy. Oh my God, this is crazy. If I go to jail, you know where the bail money at. Oh shoot, what they doing? What they doing? Oh my God, what are they doing? Oh my God, the cops.
Hey, Bernard, can we pause for a second?
Okay, hold up. All right, go ahead.
You actually, I want to give a shout out to you, by the way, because I'm thinking of a moment in time, and I've told this story before. Like, I kind of attribute your channel to the birth of my channel, because I remember during George Floyd, we were arguing about this exact thing, and where are all the people who were defending the need to riot? I want that argument to be revisited again. I would like to have that conversation with all of those same interlocutors once again, because I remember watching this happen and knowing this is not a good sign. Nothing good comes from this kind of thing. And we unleash something that most people are basically afraid to do what it takes to stop. And the longer you go without stopping it, the worse it becomes. And so I just want to get some opinions from all those people who supported the George Floyd riots. It's like, what, 4, 5, 6 years later? The riots haven't stopped. Are you still in support?
Let's go.
Yo, they really in. Uh-oh. Damn. Oh my God. Free Philly. Free Philly. Okay, don't touch him. Oh my God, record this. 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 Look, they had me. Record this. I got record this. No, get off me. Record this, mamas. I socked the shit out of him in the ring. He had me.
Now, you heard what she just said, right?
Yeah, she said I socked the shit out of him and ran.
Right. She talk about police. So, and think about, this is the black mindset in this moment, right? This is their mindset right here. We go out and basically provoke a response from the police. And then when the police respond, we're supposed to be mad at the police. And that used to work. When it was Floyd Summer, that shit was working like a motherfucker. So much damage was done because the strategy was working. And now the strategy is beginning to lose its fire. And one of the main reasons is, as a country, I think we're all slowly growing sick of niggas. Even, you know, here in Black YouTube, we kind of have open conversations about certain shit that be going on. And sometimes you'd be surprised where you hear certain attitudes come from. People who are a little bit left-leaning, they still be like, man, you're going to have to start locking niggas up because it's becoming too much of a problem to ignore. We're starting to have that 90s crime era, that 90s crime bill kind of energy coming around.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Your phone out. Keep your phone out. Everybody keep your phone out.
I mean, you kind of just made the point, but it's hard to even, I can't turn away from the fact that, like, one, they was running in there, they was rioting, they was stealing shit, they was breaking shit, they was tearing shit up. When the police come in to essentially do their job, not let's get our phones out just in case they do their job a little too hard. We got to make sure we got it so we can so we can get them in trouble. We the criminals out here breaking the law, but we got to make sure we get them. You know, we got to try to get them locked up or fired for trying to stop us. It's like, God damn.
Think about how messed up we are as a civilization. Like, for one, you would never do this on the continent. Like, nowhere in Africa is this going to happen. I promise you. Criminals are not going to go out criminalizing, and then when the police show up, they're like, video record them being mean to us. No, they'll kill you. But in America, we're so soft and basically pampered. And frankly, as Black people, this is how pampered we are. Look at what we're able to do. We couldn't even do this in the country we call our ancestral home, in the continent, rather, we call it, in the motherland.
Yeah. But okay, when they record what's happening, that recording is going to be evidence that they're going to present to the system that oppresses them. So that system that's oppressing them will, I mean, you see where I'm going with this? the system that they complain about, that's oppressing them, that's doing that, but they're gathering the evidence. They're gathering the evidence that they're going to use, that they're going to weaponize, you know, against the police officers. So it's almost like then, in a roundabout way, that we're doing this from a place of, you know, oppression, but we're going to use any evidence that we collect, even though we're wrong. Any evidence we collect of them doing anything wrong, we're going to use that system that oppresses us and weaponize it against them, which means it's in a roundabout way. It's admitting that that system ain't that hard on you if you could break the law and then record the aftermath to it and get the person who tried to stop you from breaking the law locked up or fired. It's like,
right.
Oh man.
And the whole Black left-wing framework is so, like, morally and intellectually kind of bankrupt. Once you start to see it, once you start pulling at the threads of it, you go down this rabbit hole, and it's just hard to accept anybody at like their word and face value when they come from this angle, because you kind of just get the feeling like, even if even if you know that this is all bullshit, you're gonna sell it to me anyway.
Yeah.
Right, keep your phone out. Keep your phone out. I was in here. I had all this shit. Keep your phones out. This is why we out here, because you cops don't know how to keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Your cops don't know how to keep your hands to yourself.
They still in iPhones because cops don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. Okay.
This is why we out here. This is why we out here, because you cops don't keep your hands to yourself. Oh, this shit just started. I hope y'all ready. It just started and we ain't finished.
For those that don't
Shout
know,
out
this
to
is
Dirty Folks. I was just
ahead.
gonna say, shout out to Dirty Folks, man. The best fight promoters ever.
Yeah. For those that don't know that much about the story, this is what she got locked up for inciting the riot.
I'm telling you, police. I'm telling you. We out next block. We gonna believe. Yeah. Free y'all. We got the next door. Ain't nothing.
That is critical right there. See, they basically saying we own to the next store. Like y'all handling this right here. It's all kind of other stores. We about to go. Like this is the case that they putting against her. That you're leading the riot. You're exciting the riot. You're the rebel rouser getting it going. That's the case that they put against her.
Here's the problem. In the grand scheme of things, them getting arrested and going to jail is almost pointless because, for one, everybody kind of knows that the system is weak right now. Most of them will get out on bail. Like Meatball is out on bail. The charges aren't going to really stick for most of them. And what really becomes the problem that this presents is the only real solution to this kind of continuous pattern of behavior are extreme draconian measures. And then, frankly, you're going to have to profile and more or less you're going to have to be racist against all the niggas because these niggas. Well, I'm sorry. You're going to have to be racist against all black people because you can't tell them apart from these niggas at first glance. Like, that's the situation you put people in.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be thinking on that when, like, if they really, really wanted to crack down on that kind of shit. Like I try to think of a solution that don't involve militarized police, and so it is hard to find a solution to being racist against all black people. Like, no, okay, we're profiling all black people. No, that's one of your things. I
am not promoting it. I'm not promoting it at all. I'm saying you make the option seem more practical.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's I struggle to find proper solution that don't involve militarized police. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, I'm thinking about it from just a group dynamic perspective, right? What do you think other groups see when they see this? You think we're separated from them after Arabs, Latinos, white people, Asians, whoever? You think they just automatically separate us from this? And then not for nothing, we always say we all black, right? Pan-Africanism, we all black together. And I'm just saying, bro, like this shit it presents a fucked up problem.
SKC is asking me, why do I move away from that solution, BR? Because I don't want them harassing you, SKC. I don't want you thrown on the hood of somebody's car. He said,
well, neither of us want it. It's not an issue of what we want. It's an issue of what may be.
I know, but if the solution causes for SKC to be looked at no different than them, I don't think I'm going to search for another solution. That's just all to it.
Well, the other option is for, basic Black America to firmly turn its back on the nigger class.
Yeah. I mean, that's the grassroots culture aspect of it that I push for people to see the bullshit and then change, or those that are willing to see the bullshit and change and turn away from it, or just outright just repudiate it, dismiss it, just like we about to watch the Young Turks. Well, Anna Kasparian, Jank was kind of tiptoeing around it, but she went more full gangster than he did. Like basically the awakening that she had, where she just said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." Basically, I want as many Black people as possible to do that. Well, SKC, I don't hold on real quick. SKC, I don't fear that either. But if we're looking hood conservative solution right in the face, he literally said to treat all Black people as if they're the Black people that do what these people are doing. Now, no, I don't have a fear that that's going to happen. I don't walk around in any type of fear that I'm going to be, treated some type of way or nothing like that. But that was the solution that hood conservative rolled out there. So if we follow that logic all the way home, then yes, you walking on the sidewalk, just potentially about to go into a store, and then you need to be treated as if you're one of them doing the bullshit that they're doing. If we follow the logic home, he said all Black people. He said all. I ain't say it. He said it. But all right. Let's get back into it. We almost through with this video. Then we're gonna pull up the main event with Young Turks, particularly Anna Kasparian. I believe that's how you say her last name. Pull up what she said.
Down right here, y'all ain't nothing. Listen, tonight, everybody for themselves. Everybody free themselves, yo. Free the real. Whoever got locked up, you down. Everybody keep it going. Keep it going. Come on, Daddy. Keep it going. Keep it going. Everybody. Yo! What plaza we going to? Oh.
Let's go. Come on.
Niggas going crazy. Come on, boy. It's bottles in the bag. Don't put that bitch for the camera. Bros, all this cops from here. Oh yeah, the cops coming.
And she looked like a pint of something that she looted in her hand.
Got her little Henny, her little nightcap.
I'm pretty sure she ain't just walk in there and purchase it. I mean, in the midst of all this, she just grabbed her little drink.
I think she was doing that real slick. Like, she ain't running there and try to grab no jackets from Lululemon and no iPhones and nothing like that. But she wasn't gonna leave this whole night without anything.
Yeah, that's more or less what happened. But all right. Now let's get your new favorite white girl on the screen real quick.
Yeah, she's been making a little bit of a right-wing turn for a while now. I've been tracking this because she's been having little fallouts with different people on the left, and she's made certain stances. I even made a video about her on one of my obscure channels that I don't put my real name on, my conservative name on, and she's kind of making like a little like she's steadily breaking away from a lot of left-wing core ideology. And so she's getting sexier by the day.
All right. So let's get into this. Shout out to Mr. Shug to you in the building. Says, like enticing DV scenario than calling the cops. Yeah, I guess that's similar. Yeah.
These last $2. I'm not gonna lose.
Shout out to you, appreciate that. And Captain Cisco in the building says, watch police cam. You see this stuff all the time. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All
Yeah,
right.
SKC just mentioned it in the chat, and I forgot this actually happened. I remember she covered this. Ever since Anna got attacked in Cali, she's been changing. So one day, Anna Kasparian's out, like I think she was walking her dog, I think she was walking her dog, and some guys like tried to take her dog, and she has a husband, some brown guy, and I think eventually like her husband came and intervened, but like she had a little moment with the California street people, and she's been kind of tiffed about it ever since.
Who the hell tries to like strong arm snatch a dog?
California street people, bro. I mean, we might not know about it, but it's a California thing. They're weird out there.
I mean, you don't steal I've never seen nobody try to take a dog like that. I mean, you normally just okay. I don't want to give the.
I may have the details a little fuzzy. I know she had some kind of altercation in the street. I think people tried to rob her or something like that. But yeah.
I did hear. I didn't see the video on this, but I do believe she said some stuff at one point where she was like, she don't want to be referred to as a cis woman. Like, no, I'm a woman and I'm just a woman. God damn it! Quit. I think she said some stuff like that. So a lot of them, they getting annoyed. They getting annoyed by the nonsense coming from their camp. They are, but all right. I remember saying they dog nap Lady Gaga's doggies from their dog walker for. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I follow the logic there. I mean,
see, people are saying all right. Acadia in the chat says they came up behind her while she was bent over picking up her dog's poop, and then SKC says they attacked her, tried to grab her. So it wasn't even about the dog. They just saw a white girl.
Oh wow. Oh okay. There it is. But all right. Let's get into this video now. And one thing that we didn't plan, we're not going to play, but I'll just describe this real quick. Well, no, actually, I think they're going to describe it here. But long story short, Meatball being arrested and the bail being set wherever it was set and all of that. It was, Meatball's lawyer and Meatball herself was saying this is about her being black and this is racism and this is that. They played the race card up. So yeah, and this is Anna's reaction to it. So let's go.
Influencer who is not the person you see in the images next to me, named Deja Blackwell, also known as Meatball online, was arrested after live streaming a crowd of people looting stores in Philadelphia's city center last week. Now, her lawyer is accusing people who are criticizing her of being racist. So before we get to the lawyer's claims, let's get to what happened with the looting, how this woman was arrested and why she was arrested, and then you can judge for yourselves. Now, what happened? So groups of looters hit multiple locations in Philadelphia, including an Apple store, 18 state liquor stores, pharmacies, Lululemon, and more. Authorities ended up arresting 52 individuals, and they even recovered an illegal gun. 3 of those arrested happened to be teenagers. The looting took place over a span of 8 hours. And while I mentioned city center, it started in city center and then expanded to other neighborhoods, including Northeast Philly and West Philly. Now, here's an example, just so you see with your own eyes what the scenes looked like as the looting took place.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat.
Everybody must eat.
Everybody must eat. Free iPhones. Free iPhones. Free iPhones. Look, security running. Oh, I saw.
Now, the woman you hear yelling free iPhones and kind of laughing off what's happening is Deja Blackwell. At one point, she's heard saying, "Tell the police they either lock me up tonight or it's going to get lit it's going to be a movie. Well, Meatball, you said it. You got arrested. And now she and her lawyer are crying about it. She could also be seen walking with the crowd as they moved from one store to another. So Deja Blackwell has been charged. She was arrested, as I mentioned. What are the charges? Burglary, conspiracy, criminal trespass, riot, criminal mischief, criminal use of communication facility, receipt of stolen property, and disorderly conduct. The 21-year-old was later bailed out by her mother. That happened early Thursday morning. Unsurprisingly, the influencer with close to 650,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok got some blowback. Luckily, her followers were really not appreciative of her involvement in this. And now Blackwell's lawyer is accusing those criticizing her of racism. Because had that person been white or Latino or Muslim, I mean, the commentary would be different, right? Except it wouldn't. I don't think it would be. The idea that she is now facing criticism and prosecution simply because she happens to be a Black woman is ridiculous. And yet another example of providing cover for illegal behavior, bad behavior, by using and weaponizing race. And it's disgusting.
You know what's so
it's
funny? We gotta stop for a second.
I'm sick of it.
Hold on, Harvey, real quick.
So let me give you what her lawyer had to say. Her name, it's disgusting when it happens, and I'm sick of it. So let me give you what her lawyer.
All right, well, go ahead. No, I thought that was another part. It's something that she's gonna say later in it, but go ahead.
No. The funny thing about her saying that is, I'm sorry, it's raining on me right now. They have that guy Rashad Ritchie that works for them, and that's all he ever does. And frankly, you know what? It seems like TYT hired him so he could handle all the Black stuff, and then Anna and Jank could stop talking about Black stuff. And that's what the fuck they got going on over there.
Yeah, literally. And like I forgot to average him into the equation because like I said, right before the show, I just typed in TYT and rioting and looting. That's all I typed in and clicked on the first two videos, and I found excuses of them basically kind of making excuses or providing cover for it, like what you about to talk about. And but I didn't even average Dr. Ritchie into the equation because it don't matter what happened. He defends the Black side of it at all costs. It don't matter. Like they hired him just so he can, so they hired somebody to go full gangster on that shit. So yeah. But all right.
Had to say. Her name's Jessica Mann, managing attorney at Shaka Johnson. It sickens me to witness the media's complicity in what can only be described as an all-out assault on Black and brown people, as their character and actions are mercilessly vilified. Can you guys cue up the video again, please? We're gonna watch it again. I'm gonna read that quote again, and then we're gonna go to the video again. Let's read the quote again.
Damn, she's sexy. God damn, look at that. Wow, it's fucking sexy. Go get them niggas, Anna.
Mercilessly vilified. Can you guys cue up the video again, please? We're gonna watch it again. I'm gonna read that quote again, and then we're gonna go to the video again. Let's read the quote again. Jessica Mann is quoted as saying, "It sickens me to witness the media's complicity in what can only be described as an all-out assault on Black and brown people, as their character and actions are mercilessly vilified." Now let's take a look at the character and actions of Meatball. Let's watch.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Yes, everybody must eat. Free iPhones. Free iPhones. Free iPhones. Look, security running. Oh, what's up?
Now, mind you, the media didn't post that video all over the internet. Meatball posted that video all over the internet. So was Meatball vilifying herself? I would say so. By the way, the lawyer Mann also argued that the media should have focused on how Blackwell was doing nothing more than capturing the raw reality of public outrage when she streamed the events on September 26th. Now, what she's referring to is the context is a case involving a police shooting. The police officer killed a 27-year-old man by the name of Eddie Irizarry during a traffic stop last month. The police initially said that Irizarry had lunged at the officers while outside of his vehicle, but later admitted that that actually wasn't the case. His family has now filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Blackwell did refer to Eddie at least twice during her live stream, so I want to give you the full context of that. I also want to tell you, I don't care. Okay? You don't respond to injustice by looting 18 liquor stores and an Apple store. Okay? And by the way, there were peaceful protests in regard to that situation. And those peaceful protests were not in any way tied to the looters who decided to, exploit the situation in order to engage in the criminality that you just watched. And the reason why I'm so angry about this at this point is because honestly, our side of the political aisle loves to provide cover for it, and I find it gross, and I'm done doing it. I'm done trying to be understanding toward that perspective. I'm not under.
You're done? You quit? Oh, she quit. She's done, bro. It's over. It's over. Ed is quitting, y'all. It's done. We can all stop. It's done now. Yo, we were talking about this in the back chat too. Whatever happened to all that George Floyd coverage? Because we got to run this stuff side by side now. Somebody's got to do a montage.
No, I was legit planning on doing that. If we didn't cover this today, I was gonna do I was gonna do a montage of her. I was gonna dig up some of her old commentary and compare it to her current commentary. I was gonna do a montage of her. Still might. But yeah, but that was it right there. That was it. Her admission. Because when I first heard her going off on this is what I didn't think was going to happen. I didn't think that she would, not unapologetically, but just full-blown, full-throatedly, just absolutely admit that's what the left, that's what they do. That's what her side of that political aisle do. They provide cover for it. They do exactly what I describe a lot of pro-blacks as doing, is spraying perfume and cologne over the shit to try to obscure the stench. And she admitted that that's what white liberals be basically doing for whatever political gain or increase in numbers or votes for black people. I'm going to do the soft bigotry of low expectations and make excuses for shit that I clearly see is wrong. She admitted it.
I wonder if I could get in touch with like some Hollywood bookies and get the over/under on Anna Kasparian dropping a hard R.
No.
Sooner or later, she's gonna drop an N-bomb. She might go full hard R. I'm telling you, it's gonna come out at some point. Because look, they might even try to use it to take her down, but it's gonna come out. I just can't stand these fucking niggas anymore. Like shit, I'm telling you, we're on the edge of a fucking N-bomb.
No, I don't think she's. I don't think she's there. I think she's more upset that the left, the thing that she's essentially built her life's work on, is on the wrong side of a particular argument. I don't see. One, she's not going to abandon all of her political leanings, but the part of it that's going too far, I think, with all the stuff that's going on with trans and making excuses for this kind of shit and providing cover for this kind of shit. I think that yes, she's in a place where she's just not going on that. But I don't think she's gonna go that far. I don't think she's gonna go that far. I don't think she has a disdain. I don't think she have a disdain for black people, but she's just like, I'm not covering for this shit no more. This is wrong.
No, I don't even think she hates black people. She's just gonna get so pissed off one day, it's just gonna come out. Fucking niggas, god damn it! Like it's just gonna be a thing. She can't help it.
I remember, damn it, it was in the movie Crash, and I'm trying to remember the exact content. Oh yeah, I do remember. it was Sandra Bullock's husband in the movie Crash. I think he was a politician, a liberal politician, and Sandra Bullock got basically, I think, jacked by I think it was Lorenz Tate and Ludacris was playing basically the thugs who pulled guns on her or whatever. And then when they were, trying to map out, politically, how do they, deal with this or talk about this going forward and everything. And then and I remember her husband was like, damn it, why do they have to be black? It was like, it was the frustration with, damn it, it's like they're ruining my messaging. My messaging is thrown off when they do this shit. And they did it to my wife. It's like,
well, think about that. Black people are fucking up the left-wing messaging right now with all of this shit, because now you're forced to defend the indefensible, and it only pushes you further and further onto the cliff.
Yeah. Let's roll some more. But she admitted something very important, that it's their political side of the aisle that provides cover for a lot of bullshit.
Understanding anymore. It is destroying communities, cover for it, and I find it gross because age and the criminality that you just watched. And the reason why I'm so angry about this at this point is because honestly, our side of the political aisle loves to provide cover for it, and I find it gross, and I'm done doing it. I'm done trying to be understanding toward that perspective. I'm not understanding anymore. It is destroying communities. It is mostly victimizing majority Black and brown communities. Stores are shutting down, people are losing their jobs, and then you have these wannabe revolutionaries streaming day in and day out.
She really mad about Lululemon.
Garbage. I'm not into it. It's stupid.
White women love Lululemon.
I'm glad she got arrested. Great. Cenk, what do you think?
So when you say to the cops, come and arrest me, and then they come and arrest you, I don't think you get to complain at that point. So you couldn't have been any clearer. Okay. I actually think that when they overuse racism like this, and they say someone who's on tape saying, everybody get free iPhones, everybody go in and break in, you're only targeting her because she's Black and you're racist. Well, that's the boy who cried wolf, and it does great damage to the cause of actually fighting against racism. And it itself is a little bit racist, because oftentimes you'll hear people, and I get it, this is a defense attorney, he's trying to make a case for someone who's on tape and indefensible. But it's a cheap, terrible way to make that case, because it hurts the rest of the Black community and all people of color. Because
did he just call liberals racist?
And
yes.
I thought I heard that. He tried to soft shoe it, but he was like, it is kind of racist how you talk about the Blacks, how we used to talk about the Blacks. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, you were there, Jake. You were the captain of that ship. This is the TY. You're the TYT guy. Your whole fucking network is founded on this kind of thing.
Yep. You're the ringleader. You're the CEO of that shit. They're literally the biggest independent news company probably in the world. I don't know if Daily Wire caught up with them, but I know at one point, Young Turks was as big as it gets, other than, the big wigs, the corporate media, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and all of that. TYT, they were the biggest independent news company, and that's part of what they were built on. So it's like, yeah, you're having a paradigm shift of religious magnitude at this point, because they can't just sidestep it and say, no, I guess that's kind of that little small part right there is wrong. Like, no, that's a big part of it. That's a damn big part of what y'all do. So it's like, it's no getting around that. No getting around it. I'm gonna pull some of the clips of them talking about it before, how they used to talk around it and dance around it or try to minimize it and provide cover for it. I'm gonna pull up some old clips in a second.
And that's because you hate Black people. No, wait a minute. Black people have been targeted in this country by prosecution a lot of times when they did not deserve it. And we've covered those cases hundreds of times here, right? But when you just defend all criminals and say it's because they're Black, you're almost saying that, oh, right, like that somehow Black people do this, and hence if you prosecute a criminal, you're prosecuting black people. No, you're not prosecuting all black people. You're prosecuting that black person. By the way, in an effort to protect the rest of the community who happens to be black and brown. Look, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, like they legit used to have that view. Well, I mean, probably still got that view. I mean, this is new, so we don't know how much this is going to hold up. But they more or less that's the logic behind the defense of when black people do something wrong, like you're talking about the looting and all that shit, the defense that they make for it, like that Max Kellerman defense, this country's been rioting against black people since its inception. It's like those type of defenses. That's what they do, and I'm gonna pull a tape on that. I'm just gonna pull a tape on that.
Real quick, one thing too. You see now when you want to make a point, we're not all black together. It's like, no. That black guy has to deal with some shit. You black folk don't have to. Y'all not all black with him. He black over there by himself dealing with his shit. But when it came to George Floyd, people like myself was like, listen, man, they killed the dope fiend. Shit might be fucked up, but that shit don't like change my life. But the news, Cenk, Anna, all of y'all, you wanted us to all be George Floyd. We all had the knee on our neck when it came to George Floyd. But now all of a sudden he want to back off of that move.
All right. Let me get this one pulled up. This was, I believe, around the George Floyd time. Since you mentioned that, we're going to segue right into it.
Has not happened yet. And all right, Cenk. Well, the United States has experienced another night of mass protests in major cities, including in Minneapolis, where George Floyd was murdered by a police officer who still has not faced any criminal charges for what he did. That was now the infamous video that showed Officer Chauvin basically kneeling on George Floyd's neck, and that led to his death. Now, the protesters are demanding murder charges, criminal charges against the police officer, which has not happened yet. And unfortunately, the media has chosen to focus on one element of the protest rather than what these protests are really about. They're talking about some of the looting that's taking place, or what they're describing as looting.
Did you see how she trying to sidestep it?
What they're describing as looting.
Yeah. And even before that, she was like, the media is just focusing on one aspect of this little small aspect over there in the corner, this little thing. That's just spraying deodorant on it. It's like, when people are looting, it's not all black people looting.
See if you can raise the volume on this clip too. They're saying you can't hear.
Oh shit, my bad, yeah. Yeah, it was low as hell. My bad. I'll even back it up a little bit.
To focus on one element of the protest, police officer, which has not happened yet. And unfortunately, the media has chosen to focus on one element of the protest rather than what these protests are really about. They're talking about some of the looting that's taking place, or what they're describing as looting. There were videos of a structure fire in Minneapolis that got a lot of attention as well.
So just let that sink in, that when she says, and what makes her upset, that it's our side of the aisle, of the political aisle, that provides cover for all this shit. This is what she's talking about. This is the cover that her side provides. This is a cover that, as far as I could tell, she's the right-hand man or right-hand woman in PYT, Young Turks. So, if Cenk, whatever you say his name, is the king of that shit, you are the queen of that shit. Like y'all are at the top of this pyramid.
You ever see on Twitter where they have like the "this you" meme, where when somebody say something provocative, and then somebody pulls up a tweet from whenever before when they were saying almost the exact same thing or something that makes them like really hypocritical. Like this is the perfect example of the "this you" meme right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, she admitted that it's her side that does it, but what she really, a better confession would have been, we have ultimately engineered, because the Young Turks is like 12, 14 years old. You know, you go back that far, you know, we all the way into like the, you know, they damn near go back to the early 2000s with this shit. You know, they're pre-Obama with this shit. Now that I think about it. So like far as the whole racial politics, the whole social landscape with the whole all of that that they, when it comes to independent media, they wrote the book on that shit. They wrote the book on it. You know, CNN and Fox and MSN, you know, they've always covered news in a certain kind of way, but it's different when it's independent news media covering it, where, you know, you're not beholden to nobody, you're not worried, you have a very specific audience that algorithmically watches you, so you could say what you want to say, exactly how you want to say it, when you want to say it, at the frequency you want to say it. So in a very real way, when we see the whole white liberal, you know, making excuses for shit that happened in the hood, the soft bigotry of low expectations and all of that, they built a monopoly, they built an empire on that shit. And they created an entire internet, you know, social media era genre of that shit. They are the pioneers.
Not only that, they created Meatball essentially.
Woo!
Because think about the long chain of events between then and now. Like looking at this clip, and I was talking about this before. Like we kind of went in on the George Floyd things right here on this channel. A lot of heated, intense debate. I think friendships were made and lost over this George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
And after the riot, well, after the Floyd thing died down, the riots never died down. And not only did the riots not go away, there were like little sporadic things here and there, but the energy of Black people shifted into a very sort of antagonistic, aggressive stance. And then also there's this amazing crime wave that everybody in the media wanted to pretend isn't happening. And Anna, in particular, you helped create all of that. And so now, fast forward to a couple weeks ago in Philadelphia, when Meatball gets up there and starts live streaming the riot, she's doing what you do, Anna. You made the way for her. You built this shit for her.
Shout out to Will Wardrobe. He says liberal heel turn. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Do appreciate that. Said she's admitted guilt. She talked about it in full as a guest on a podcast. Said they've been wrong. Get me that if you can. If you can find it, get me that.
Yeah, no, I believe I've heard bits of that before too. Like she's not shy about saying that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I really want to emphasize that these acts of violence do not in any way speak for all of the protesters who took to the streets last night. In fact, I think CNN actually did a really good job in interviewing a community activist. He's actually a Black man who's a good friend of the victim in the story of Floyd's. And what he did, along with his friends, is create a barrier or a barricade between the protesters and the 3rd Precinct Police Department in Minneapolis to ensure that there wouldn't be any breakout of violence. I saw that video today. But I will say that in Minneapolis, they are now declaring a state of emergency, and they're utilizing the National Guard in order to prevent any.
All right, we gotta decipher that really quick. This needs decoding.
Yeah.
All right, that was a very, very sterile way of saying that masked, possibly armed people barricaded the police department. That's not really that's not the way you describe something. Like you described it almost as if you're on their side. And that's kind of the problem with this whole thing. You are on their side. So when they barricade the police department, you don't actually say no. They actually tried to lock the police inside the precinct. What you do is say no. They set up a protective barrier so that there wouldn't be any violence between the police and the protesters, as if the police are the ones who are going to start the violence when the people are in the streets burning shit down.
Wow, you decoded that beyond what I was going to do. I was taking her at her word that that somebody was trying to protect the police. I was taking her at her word, and I was just going to say, even if that is true, the only reason she's bringing that up because this was in like the peak of the rioting and looting, and she's trying to say anything to distract away from it. But if her distraction away from it attempt, she actually tried to reimagine something, but it actually happened the way that you described it, then that makes it 10 times worse.
Well, I don't know if this is the precinct that we're talking about, but they did burn down one of the precincts somewhere, I think in Minneapolis.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll a little more of this. I'm gonna pull up another video in a second. I'll roll a little bit more of this.
Occurrences that happened last night, including the structure fires and the break-ins into some local businesses.
So violence is politics of last resort. So we've said 1,000 times on this show, don't go down that route. What's happening is there is no politics left for these folks. And several of the protesters said the same exact thing. And I'll paraphrase here, and the local papers have all the exact quotes. And obviously they're different people, so they're saying it in slightly different ways. But basically they said, what option do we have left? And that's because
again, this is the provide and cover. And this is the making excuses for it. What option do we have left? That's that, like I said, this is their thing. I'm pulling up a video from 9 years ago. I'm doing the same shit.
The system never, ever, ever changes. Republicans don't want it to change. They generally like that police can abuse poor people, African Americans, etc. And the Democrats are feckless, useless, never fight the people in power. They are the people in power, and they never bring change. So what is the result of that? So we've been asking for a retraining of police so that they don't use excessive force for about a decade now. Now, the problem goes way longer than that. I'm just saying in terms of the Young Turks, and as long as we've been able to show you guys videos, and now because of the smartphones, we're getting all this stuff. And every African-American that says, hey, you're just seeing it for the first time, it's been around forever, is absolutely right. And all those hundreds of years, they never got any change in terms of how the police treat them. And there's no retraining. There's not going to be any retraining. Nancy Pelosi today says, oh my God, this is murder and it's terrible. We saw it in front of our own eyes. Great, okay. Finally, a Democratic leader said something. It's not like they ever take any action, though. So is Pelosi then saying, I can't take it anymore with the police? We need to retrain them because they obviously are taught to use excessive force. No, she says nothing of the sort.
You know what's so funny?
Of the sort.
Yeah.
I remember being a TYT watcher for a little while, years and years ago. And a guy like Cenk, he kind of, his animation, it has a purpose. Like he's trying to transmit his energy to you as the viewer so that we all become as angered about this thing as he wants us to become. And the problem is, right, it leaves like not just him, but he's a part of this whole propagandist push to sort of anger Black people and leave Black people in this just constant simmering racial anger over things that aren't exactly true. Like for example, whatever happened to Floyd, police retraining doesn't necessarily take that away, because that could happen to any cop. I mean, any cop could do something like that. And it's not an issue of training. It's just an issue of, is this cop a good cop, or is he a good person? Does he care? Like a whole lot of other things come into it, right? But you got us gassed up about, well, all they got to do is retrain the cops. No, that's not going to solve the problem. And then in the meanwhile, you're going to encourage black people to be even more aggressive in their dealing with the cops. So the cops now have to be either more aggressive with them or let shit go down. And they've been letting shit go down.
All right, let me get this one queued up. This is from, now this is older. This is an older one. I'll probably start this one. Damn it, I wanted to start this one from a particular place. I'll just start it right here. Fatal shooting of unarmed black teen okay, yeah, that's it. Basically saying, does the fatal shooting of unarmed black teen justify riots and looting? That's their topic 9 years ago.
Just a couple of eyewitnesses at the time. Could be that other people did recognize them, but it's important to understand that this kind of quote unquote rioting doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
So if it's the first time, like for example, I grew up in a suburb of New York. It was a lovely suburb. We didn't really have much problems, okay? If somebody had get killed in that suburb, there's no way they would have been rioting. You know why? Because there's no history of being people killed in that suburb by the cops, right? There's no history in that particular area of the cops constantly oppressing the community. If there was, well, then things would be in a situation where stuff like this can get ignited.
And of course, that's not to excuse the rioting that's taking place. Again, that rioting is directed toward businesses that are completely innocent, and it totally distracts from the message that you're trying to send. I mean, look, I don't know what the objective is of the people that are going around vandalizing these businesses. There could be few individuals who are really frustrated with the situation and they're letting it out in this way. There could be people who see this as an opportunity to go into a business and just steal a bunch of stuff. But the reality is they're not representative of the community. I hate that the mainstream press decides to focus solely on them as opposed to the real issue here, which might have to do with institutional racism, which might have to do with racial profiling, which might have to do with the fact that police in this area are using excessive force, especially when it comes to an 18-year-old who's unarmed. And by the way, whatever happened to non-lethal weapons? Don't cops have non-lethal weapons? Don't they have tasers? Don't they have, you know?
You see the deflection and the sidestep and even the tactic, what they call in car sales, aim, acknowledge, ignore, and move on. Like, it's a problem. So she mentioned, it doesn't justify it. That's her acknowledging it. But then she kind of ignores that, moves on, and starts talking about the racial profiling and the police brutality. I forgot what else she said, the lack of opportunities and this or that or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's them doing their whole framework of providing cover for it. Going back to what she said again, she's mad that it's been her side that's normally providing cover for this stuff. This is the cover. This is the cover right here. Well, I don't know why they were doing that. Maybe they're just frustrated with the situation, and it's that's what it is. That's what it looks like. That's them concocting an argument to justify.
Well, she's using a sales tactic because she's selling.
Yeah.
And the thing she's selling, and this is why, when you recognize the tactics, they do become offensive, and you can recognize like the left is the racism, the inherent racism at the core of the way the left sees these things, right? Because what they're selling is impotent rage to black people.
Yeah. Shout out to Machismo TV. He says, you and Hood's Saturday political commentary is brilliant. Keep it up. Thanks for the shout out after the video you posted. Yeah, one of my pre-records I posted. I definitely I put you out. Did an ad, so to speak, at the end of the video. So shout out to Machismo TV. Make sure that y'all are checking that out. Make sure that y'all are subscribed to Machismo TV. And while we at it,
welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right. Let's get back into it.
Other ways of handling situations? Why is it that they immediately go to their lethal weapon? Why do they shoot first?
You know, they make the ironic excuse, well, I couldn't mace him from 35 feet away. So instead of chasing him, I decided to shoot him and kill him.
It's amazing.
Okay, so look, of course, the check cashing store, the boutique, the small grocery store, the sporting goods store, the cell phone retailer, they got nothing to do with any of this, right? They're not the cops. They didn't do it. I'm sure they're probably owned for most part by small business owners from that community. So it's just so senseless. But, you know, here we got a picture of one of the guys that did the looting. And we knew that it was going to be an issue. I said it right in the morning when we were doing the production meeting, that they're going to use this as an excuse to then turn around and say, you see that? This is what they're like. This is what they wanted in the first place, etc. So he's doing the looting. He's grabbed a bunch of stuff from that convenience store, and he's got his pants hanging down, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the Fox News audience loves this. This is so they could all nod their heads.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, look at how sympathetic he is back, or he was, right? Look how sympathetic he was back then. Like, you got this guy. He's describing him like he feels sorry for him. You know, he's stealing bread like that. That's just bread in his hand. His pants are falling down because he can't afford a belt. He spent his belt money on some bread. He's just hungry. And you got this hungry guy, he's basically stealing bread, and the Fox News audience, they just fucking racist.
Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I had to stretch. Shout out to Salty Balls. Just dropped a $25 Cash App on it. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. All right.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
All right, let's get back into it.
And go, yeah, you see. But that's not the guy who got shot. That's not the guy who got killed. That's the guy who's screwing everything up.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say is, look, do it like the civil rights protesters did back in the day. You're going to do a protest, wear the I am a man, signs, and go out there and do it the right way. And bless their hearts. I mean, it was so, look at these images. They're so powerful, right? And it was so effective. But now, you want to know what the overwhelming majority of
because that was a protest. I mean, I'm trying to find your boy.
And bless their hearts. I mean, it was so back in the day.
Okay,
it's not the guy who got shot. That's not.
All right, this is not. They de facto try to make it's no reason for like. This is some different shit. Like okay, look. You can see the window right there, cracked. He ain't going through a door. That's a busted window that he's going through, and this cart or whatever, this shelving is what got pushed or knocked through the window. Like, this is a full-blown vandalized store. It's not a protest. It's not a protest. So I don't even know, and maybe the two got to be connected, but I don't know if they should. In the sense, in this sense right here, they are running around just fucking some shit up. We know what an actual rally look like, where it's organized and somebody is on stage speaking with a microphone, and okay, that's there. That's when that gets in the realm of political debate where you could agree or disagree. But the mere fact that he's practically associating the two, he's putting them together. So it's like I don't. Yeah, I can.
You know what else?
Go ahead.
You know what else I noticed about this too? All right. They are complaining about the media coverage back then. Like, look at these Fox News viewers. They don't care about the dead black people that the cops murdered. The cops are murdering blacks, and then Fox, they don't care about it. They just care about this guy right here with his pants down, and they're like, aha, look at that black guy, right? Now, fast forward to Meatball in Philly, where the cops they fucking admitted that, yeah, we lied about he didn't lunge at us, we just shot him because, you know, fucked up, oops, my bad. And it's like, and you know what, I don't care.
Wait,
Anna
what?
literally just said that shit because the cops in Philly, that whole riot with Meatball and everything, it's about some guy, Eddie, Hispanic last name, and they were like, this guy, when they pulled him over or whatever, he lunged at them, and so the police fired on him because he lunged at them. And then after the trial investigation or whatever, the police admit that he actually didn't lunge at us. So I guess they're admitting to a bad shoot. And so now the riot's going on, and Anna's got a case where it's an actual bad shoot, and they're rioting, and she's like, you know what? Fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah.
You see what a
Yeah.
different time makes?
Yeah.
The guy who got killed. Look, dude, and so effective. But now you want to know what the overwhelming majority of protesters who did nothing violent at all in this scenario were chanting? They were chanting, "We are Michael Brown, don't shoot me, and no justice, no peace." So the overwhelming majority of the protesters did the exact right thing.
Absolutely.
And a couple of guys screwed up for everybody. And what I hope doesn't happen is then the attention gets focused on the looters and not on the original crime that the entire community is so rightfully mad about.
Yeah.
All right, now we happen to have somebody on staff who lived very close to that area and has some personal experience with right outside of St. Louis, and that's JR, who grew up there. So JR, what's your experience here?
I left when I was 16. I moved up to Detroit, which, you know. But I moved up to Detroit, but the whole time, I mean, you kind of start going out. I had cousins and everything and friends. We'd go out starting around 14 years old, just hanging, mall type of stuff, what every other kid does. And without a question, I'd say 70% of the time we're pulled over and we're asked, what are you guys doing? What are you doing here? Where are you going? Everybody get out, let's search the car. I can't tell how many times the car had been searched. So if you ever are involved in anything, it was just typical profiling. And I remember this is all, you know, in times in the 90s when stuff was happening with LAPD. And I was like, man, LAPD seems like the worst police force in the country. And it probably was, because it was pretty bad here. And once I got here, I was like, oh man, I grew up with the St. Louis County Police and they're horrible. And I was really expecting LAPD to be what we had seen growing up. And they're nowhere near as bad as St. Louis Police had been. I mean, I don't know if things changed. And they said things did change. There was a big change with LAPD after all that went down, the multiple riots. But as things keep happening, I just remember thinking, man, we're like, you think back at how little and 15 and 16-year-olds you look like, and we, you know, you think you're a big, you know, a normal sized guy, but you look back at kids, you look at college kids now, you're like, man, these are kids. And I don't understand the thought process that goes into, let's pull these 4 kids over in this Toyota Tercel and search the car because there's something we're looking for. They have nothing else to do.
Keep in mind, the title of this show that they're doing is "Does the Fatal Shooting of an Unarmed Black Teen Justify Riots and Looting?" But clearly the message of it is, let's deflect to, you know, make the case that it's been the country's treatment of Black people that led to the rioting and the looting, and that's the real problem. And that's going back to the gist of the original video, that it's the providing the cover. Having him come on and talk about this in the direction and angle that he's talking about it is more of the providing the cover. I haven't even heard this part, but I could tell where it's going, where he's saying that all that he went through, where he said 70% of the time when they go out, they were stopped by the police and was questioned and had their car searched. Like that's an astronomical number, 70% of the time.
But none of that has anything to do with anything, though. That's kind of the crazy point. That's the whole non sequitur. None of that is the reason why he got shot.
But that's That's the argument that they're making is that all of the stuff that he's describing, all the rioting and the looting is the outcry or outpouring of that. You know, where the system has been so oppressive on us, and and that's how we react. That this built up anger and rage is just coming out on local CVS's. And so but that's the argument. That's what he's building towards.
It's always been frustrating. And then every person that I grew up with and knew that was of the same demographic has the exact same stories. It's just the way it happened. My father got pulled over on his bicycle multiple times. And you just bring up excuses. You fit the description of somebody that was on a bicycle. Because, we pull over bicycles randomly with our police cars screeching up in front of them and almost crashing them. These types of things just happen on a regular basis. So when it builds up that much, you get pissed. And there is a lot of people online that are saying, "Oh man, so you're taking away from your argument, and nobody's gonna be on your side now because of the rioting that happened." This shit happens all the time. We don't talk about every day someone is killed unnecessarily just for who they are. And then when the riots don't happen, which do you hear a riot every day? We don't go, "Congratulations, black people, you did not riot this time. We're on your side." No, they go, "Well, let's see. I don't know. See, police wouldn't really want to do something like that."
Hold up. Did this nigga just say, "Congratulations, black people, you did not riot this time"? Really? Is that the expectation?
I'm hoping he didn't mean it like that. I'm gonna back it up. I'm hoping
we should get a cookie.
I'm hoping we missed some context. Hold on.
All the time. We don't talk about your side now because of the rioting that happened. This shit happens all the time. We don't talk about every day someone is killed unnecessarily just for who they are. And then when the riots don't happen, which do you hear a riot every day? We don't go, "Congratulations, black people, you did not riot this time. We're on your side." No, they go, "Well, let's see. I don't know. See, police wouldn't really want to do something like that." Excuses start getting made, and it pisses us off more. So don't act like because when people don't riot that you're totally on their side, because you're not. So if you make the argument, shut up.
You can say, "Hey, look, Jared's experience, maybe it's anecdotal. It's all the people he happened to know."
Oh yeah, that he more or less mentioned the way.
I want to put a link real quick in the back chat and show you something. This is from a conversation just this morning I was having on Twitter. Somebody asked me a question about black people. Why I gotta pull the tweet up, but it was a tweet. He asked me about the relationship between like the crime and the violence in the black neighborhoods and the black leadership, and I'm like, bro, they want it this way. They want it to be this way because what I see happening with like the black leadership, or not even leadership, not just the leadership, but like the so-called intellectuals.
Mm-hmm.
What they'll do, and when you were talking about like covering for crime and the rioting and all that, they cover for black crime and have been covering for black crime for a long time now. To the point, the point of it is this: if black people especially in our inner cities, but if black people just generally, we live in like rough neighborhoods or whatever. Like he's talking about what do you call it? St. Louis, right? Now the problem is, actually, I'm gonna just put this in the chat here. I'm gonna put this in a public chat. Here's the link I'm trying to show you. Oh, shoot. But the problem is, these neighborhoods are full of crime, and that's probably why he has so many interactions with the police. And I'm not saying the police are necessarily great, but when you have high crime neighborhoods, you tend to get aggressive cops, and you probably get some corruption and all that too, right? But when black people live in this sense of like they fear the crime that just exists in the community, they fear interacting with the police, even though the police are supposed to be on their side. Now you have a sense of like what I was calling fear and urgency that's created. And these politicians, they turn that real sense of fear and that real sense of danger, and they shift it into making a racial argument. And so They're not saying that, they're not telling you the truth that, listen, you have a lot of aggressive cops in your neighborhood because you have a dangerous neighborhood. On the whole, nice, safe neighborhoods don't get aggressive, angry police. And so these things tend to go hand in hand. If you want better policing, you have to actually allow the police to deal with the criminals. And then over time, the relationship between police and the citizens will get better. But they can't sell it to you like that because that's not what they're in the business of selling. They need you to be racially agitated. And then they can use that for their own political benefits. And that's the game that I'm seeing being played with this kid, JR, here. That's the game that I see with pretty much all Black politics at this point. They'll take issues that may or may not be real and legitimate, and then they have to wrap them in a racial narrative because that's the thing that gets more Black people upset.
So, all right, what do we got here? This is basically this. It was a conversation that you were sending me. It wasn't a video. It was okay.
Yeah, no, this is just a short tweet when he was asking me that question there.
Okay, so he says, why do Black Americans protect their rogue criminal caste so much, especially since they're net negatives to Black folks? They destroy and don't provide anything for the community. Plus, Black men, okay, so hold on. Plus, Black men like me can't live in peace around them. Hood Conservative responded to him by saying, you need these people to create a sense of fear and urgency in the population. The politicians then redirect that energy into racial grievances, then they get paid. Explain how do politics okay, hold on.
How does the Rainbow Coalition make money? Let me not say the Rainbow Coalition. What's Jesse Jackson's group? I mean, not Jesse. Al Sharpton. What's the name of his group? His political action thing. It's a group. There's a name for it. But how do they make money?
Off racial shit.
No, okay, yeah, but specifically, how do they make money? Has no one ever asked that question?
You tell me, because I mean, I know he do. I don't know shit. I know he do speaking engagements. Some Black people.
That's one way. That's one way, and that's a little bit more legit. But even speaking engagements are a bit like shady. Like people like anyway. The point I'm trying to raise is that it sort of is a racial shakedown. So you go to a company like, say, Coca-Cola or something, and somebody has a racial complaint. And it may or may not be legit. Most of the time it's not, though. But you get this Al Sharpton guy who he has a national action network. He's been a long time media figure. He's had his own show now for God knows how long. And it's like, listen, we can say really bad things about you on TV, or, you can donate to my anti-racism group, and then we'll say nice things about you on TV. And that's how you make money.
Yeah, would you describe when you said that racial shakedown because of the organizational power and ability to get on platforms and say things disparaging about a particular group in a roundabout way? And I was making this around the time of like the Kyrie Kanye situation where they ran into with the small hats. It's almost like it's like a Black version of the ADL, damn near, where you do something we don't like, we gonna figure out a way to make you have to answer to us.
Bernard, I don't want to get you in trouble, and I don't want to get me in trouble. Let me just say this though: we don't own our politics, and we're all under the umbrella.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a lightweight version of it. It's a lightweight version of what they do. I'll just say that. But all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you not saying what you want to say about those of the small hat variety. But all right. All right. I think I can put the link in the chat now because I think we pretty much
SKC's got something in the chat too. He says it's a 20-second clip of Anna admitting to her role in all of this propaganda.
Okay. Well, there's the link in the chat, and now I'm Now I'm trying to locate SKC's comment, or I mean post link, I should say. Oh, there we go. I see it.
And think about this for a second too, right? I don't know if anybody's ever quantified it properly, and they probably haven't for obvious reasons. But the racial industry, let's call it the anti-racism industry. So a lot of things can fall under that. But when you just limit it to the pro-black anti-racism kind of industry, I imagine we're talking billions of dollars every year. I mean, how much did BLM pull in alone?
Yeah, it's big business.
And it's such a big business. It raises the question. And this is why I'm so like, when you said you made the mistake when I was pointing out, I deciphered a moment with Anna, and you said that you actually didn't take it that far because you kind of took her at her word. This is why I don't take them at their word, because it becomes such obvious contradictions, such obvious built-in hypocrisies that none of it can be true. How is it that we live in an oppressive nation, but fighting the oppression of this oppression fighting the oppression of this oppressive nation can make you a millionaire? Ibram Kendi, the guy who writes like the anti-racist baby books, and he's got his like anti-racist X-Men Academy, he is now that shit's falling apart. The money done got mismanaged because niggas can't count. But he raked in hundreds of millions of dollars. His brother, I think, just got roped into a scandal where I think like Harvard or some college gave him like $60 million to fight racism. Like, you can just, if America is so racist, how come fighting racism is so profitable? Think about any war in history. When were the rebels ever rich?
Damn. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
Bunch of lying motherfuckers.
And I can't pretend like I'm above.
All right, let's see what's going on here. I think this is SKC. Hopefully, it's starting right at the 20-minute and 52-second mark. Hopefully, that's somehow the part that SKC, like the money shot, more or less, SKC was trying to give us.
Tell the truth to you.
Simply put, I absolutely.
You guys can know that I'm trying to tell the truth to you.
Simply put, I absolutely loathe this crap. And I can't pretend like I'm above it because I engaged in a lot of it myself. And I have deep regrets about that.
And there you have it. Anna Kasparian acknowledges that she puts out these false narratives, that she's done it before, and she expresses regret for her own actions. I really actually appreciate her doing this portion of it. And again, Anna, perfectly fine with you being on the left. I don't pregnant woman in order to secure the bike. But I give Anna Kasparian come out.
Employer at Bellevue Hospital was immediately contacted. She was placed on leave pending an investigation. Now her attorney is looking to potentially sue media outlets that propagated false allegations about his client. But we still don't know the full story. And it's better to wait and see how this develops before people try to destroy a stranger's life and livelihood. So do we feel better about racism in America today? It certainly feels like we're becoming more divided. We're definitely more obsessed with whipping out our phones to surveil one another because God forbid we fail to capture one of our peers in their worst moments.
Now we do know the full story. I gave you.
All right, but we had already seen the money shot of her admitting it. I just was trying to kind of go fishing for some other shit in the midst of this. But
I told you though, it starts with the liberal white women. Because see, the white men by and large are relatively cucked, because you got a lot of liberal white men and then some cucked right-wing white men as well. And the white women are the ones who have to turn first. And once the white women give the white men the okay to start doing some things that they were criticizing just a few Floyd summers ago, then things will start to move. I don't know where they're going to go. I know they're going to have to start making changes. I can make some predictions, but I don't know. I'm just saying things are going to start changing because the liberal white women are starting to get afraid. And most of what we do as a country is based on the fears of liberal white girls.
Yeah, I'm seeing more videos. It says TYT's Anna Kasparian ditches progressive host admits I don't know what to label myself anymore. So that's a potential video. We may check that one out.
I told you, man. I think there's an N-bomb in her future. She doesn't even know where she is anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. But we are joined by SKC. I'm digging for, more videos on her. I think it's been going on for like a few months now. But go ahead, SKC. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Well, afternoon now. But
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, it's interesting. I find there's so much meat to pick off the bone of this, but I'll begin with this. A white woman can come out and basically state, yeah, what I stated about this was incorrect. I played a improper role in this narrative. However, when have you seen black people do that?
Yeah, good question. Almost never. At least no instance comes to mind. It's like many of them know that. Well, I mean, well, quick, I can. Okay, one instance does come to mind, but it don't get talked about that much. And I don't even take the time to dig up to see what the evidence is on this. But the Mike, you probably familiar with this, the whole Mike Brown narrative of getting shot with his hands up and everything. That was a lot of people, now I remember, a lot of witnesses on the scene admitted that was false. And then after, some of the black people who, cover this stuff and talk about this stuff and speak on this stuff, they did their investigation, and through it all, they came to the conclusion, like, yeah, that the narrative that started the whole hands up, don't shoot thing, that was actually a false narrative. And so some of them, I do remember, they like briefly put it out there that, okay, that was untrue, that was false, and then move on and never mention it again. So that's the one instance I could think of where something like that happened. But by and large, no, I think that's something that don't happen that much.
And the other thing that I was thinking about in this, and I kind of mentioned it to Conservative in the chat earlier, was, okay, let's say a situation like this, the Meatball thing, and now you have TYT, which probably is one of the largest outlets for the white liberal left, right? They're doing a 180 on that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that put them at odds with the FD signifiers of the world?
I would think so. He's a unique case. I think
the black left as a whole, like, take for instance Roland Martin.
I think it would put them at odds with Roland Martin. I'm trying to think. Okay, the FD signifier, he's an interesting case because I know he's in the camp where, he says that, Democrats aren't far enough to the left. They're not progressive. They're not leftist. They're not fully all the way in on that. But I know TYT certainly is, based off everything that they've been doing, because they say the same thing, that the Democrats are wrong. He dissed the Democrats in one of the videos that we played. So so TYT, they're very far to the left. They don't even call themselves liberals. They call themselves progressives. And I guess that probably would better describe FD signifier now.
And that's
the Roland Martin types. They don't call themselves progressives. Like they're establishment Democrats. That's the reason they went at Cornel West for stepping out there and going outside the, coloring outside the lines and trying to run for president, even though they said some technical reasons why he can't get elected through some technicalities. But so he said, you're just taking away from our establishment people. So so it's a unique case where you start really trying to when you step all the way over to the left, it's a lot of different ways you could divvy people up over there. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just wonder how situations like this, is there some sort of, okay, just shut up, don't say anything about this, hopefully it'll blow over, or are there very real cracks in the perceived armor that they really don't want to talk about?
Definitely the latter, and I think that's what we're hearing.
That's always.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. That's always been a problem of the left. That's why they have to use racial grievances to kind of bind people together. And this is what the black and brown coalition was, because it's the biggest group of active racial grievance you could really draw from. But basically, the left is made of a hodgepodge of various competing interests. And ultimately, those competing interests will become primary at the surface, and then people move in their different ways.
And that's the part that I'm kind of wondering, Hood, is that are they reaching a collision point to where their interests now begin to go in different directions? Take, for instance, you're kind of seeing a little bit of that in Chicago. The Mayor Johnson is needing to basically stab black people in the back.
Explain that for those that don't know.
And not only is he stabbing them in the back, he's going to be authoritarian about it. The left is going to have to resort to force. That's the next move. They're going to have to force you in line.
I mean,
wait, hold on. How is he? Wait. Explain it for those that don't know. And I say those that don't know, I'm kind of mean me. How is he stabbing black people in the back?
Well, black people are revolting against him. They actually have put together a small council to sue him because of what he's doing with the immigration policies and all of that. And he pretty much went on stage and just pretty much told black people, you guys aren't godly.
Oh, damn. But wait a minute. See, and I think I did know about that. But
we don't love tacos enough.
So he's going against the immigrants, and black people are going against him because he's going against the immigrants. That's what they beefing about.
He is ultra pro immigrant, and he's stating that it's about to get cold in Chicago. They need to open up their hearts, their homes, the more places. There was a football team that was supposed to have like some sort of training facility or something like that. He closed that down and put the immigrants there.
Oh, I'm gonna give you that clip right now, Bernard. I'm gonna get you that clip in 1 second.
I'm getting Chicago and New York mixed up because I think they getting a little. They're getting pissed in New York.
They're pissed in New York, but in Chicago, he's saying, Mayor Johnson is saying, no, we need to do more.
Oh, okay. I be getting my cities mixed up, but okay, now I got it. And
the community actually put together a council to sue him. And his response to them was, "Oh, you guys really ain't Christians."
Wow. We are joined by Prince Marky D. I saw that you typed out something in the back. I read half of it, but go ahead and what you got? What you got on this?
Hey man, thanks for letting me hop on. I just randomly saw this on YouTube and clicked to join. I don't even know what's going on. What did Anna do? What did TYT do?
Man, come on! You don't take the link and you don't even you ain't halfway.
I thought I would be given a little leeway since it was just kind of random and I experienced a shame.
Well, I mean, hold on, bro. Just because you're random doesn't mean we were random. All right, so that's a little weird, but we'll give you a rundown.
I appreciate it, man. 30 seconds is all I need. I think I know what's going on, but I don't want.
Yeah, more or less that the rioting and stuff that was going on in Philly, and more specifically the looting that was going on in Philly, and the chick that was exciting the riot, and then got arrested and then cried racism, and Anna Kasparian basically went off, said that's not racism, you were wrong. And she talked about how her side of the political aisle keep making excuses and providing cover for that shit, and she done doing it. And so she just took a hard stance against the looting nigga shit.
Yeah, man. I think it's inevitable, because the left, as we know it, is just based off of some ideas that don't scale and some really well perpetuated delusions, and it's money in that, and everything's for sale in the West, everything's for sale in the United States. So that whole ideology is profitable, and that's all it is to it. And some of us learn really late in life that a self-responsibility, fundamental self-accountability, is the only thing that can scale to the extent that lets this experiment work in the United States. And what happens is, if you are young or naive, or for whatever reason you truly align with the left in your heart, you usually end up growing up and getting that wake-up call, and sometimes it's too late. And I think that happened with TYT and a lot of platforms like it. I think they were true believers till they got into the big league and realized, oh man, a lot of this stuff doesn't really work that way. But they thought, okay, we'll toe the line. We'll still stay center left, and maybe with the revenue we generate, we can do good on behalf of our leftist ideals. Then they find out there's not enough money in the world to fix that either, because the problem fundamentally is that the left perpetuates a lack of human self-accountability at the fundamental level, and it just doesn't scale up. Just like welfare, it kind of breaks the component of your humanity that makes this entire experiment work to begin with, and that's responsibility. And the Black community's got that real bad.
All right.
You kind of reminded me of that saying. I forget exactly how you phrase it, but basically an old conservative is usually a liberal who's been mugged by reality. And then Anna's literally got mugged by reality. Like that, it happened to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Dirty folks, what's on your mind?
I just want to praise the white woman. As the white woman goes, so does America. None of this really. Here's the thing, man. To be a liberal is really to be a what's the word? Not social, a communist. All of this is a communist agenda. And I'm not going, tinfoil hat, but the gist of it is, when you try to make Black people the face of criminality, because you have to have a scapegoat, but you can only scapegoat one particular group of Black people at that. So you can't blame women, and you can't blame foreigners. And if you do blame foreigners, you gotta mix them in with the indigenous the Blacks are already here. And then you try to make them the face of crime, but then try to make it so, but it's not their fault. They're just children. They're toddlers, which I agree with, by the way. And then you say, okay, how can we take down the Constitution in order to make it easier for all of these poor people and rich people to live in harmony? The thing I'm gonna fight back on, as far as liberals go, is there's liberals and then there's Black people who vote liberal. I've spoken to white liberals. White liberals do have the best of intention. White liberals aren't looting. White liberals do have girls that wear purple fingernail polish and Black lipstick and call themselves God, but they only hurt themselves. White liberals are different than Black liberals or Black people in general. I think that's a false equivalent. But I think that's the whole job of liberals, is to say, man, how can we destabilize government? And Brandon Johnson is a great example of that, but I'm not going to talk about Brandon Johnson because y'all not going to keep picking on Chicago. That's all I have to say about that.
All I'm going to say is, in Staten Island, they forced some of these illegals out of them shelters. Man, y'all Chicago niggas got to clean up.
What did they do in Staten Island? How they get them out?
Well, one, there's like a legal injunction in place, from what I understand. But then on the ground, they have like a quote unquote protest going on, where they're outside of one of these shelters and they're just blaring like some type of noise some kind of loud noise all night long, and then they're like shining like laser beams, flashing lights, strobe lights into the windows of all the shelter, just trying to make everybody in there feel physically uncomfortable. So people are just like, I don't want to stay in this one no more. Actually, what's so funny? I saw a protest, a clip from some Venezuelan guy saying, I don't want the job program. I just want more welfare. I just need more food stamps. I don't need the work visa.
Oh shit.
He almost a black woman. You know what's so crazy? While y'all talking about, I got an inbox from somebody talking about Chicago just at the injunction. Just tried to sue the city. You know what I'm so pissed about, and I know it's gonna fail. And I say this in no disrespect, because they kind of used to be my friends. The face of this immigration thing is Natasha. And I told Natasha this was gonna happen 13 years ago when she was fighting against me, when I was fighting to tell them to take the schools back before Chicago closed down the schools. I was like, no, they're giving you the schools, little fat black women, because all women are fat, all black women are fat, and they all teachers. Look, little fat black women, they giving y'all the schools. They say they don't want you on the books. They said you can have the schools if you turn the charter and you can keep your job. They want to keep the schools public so they can stay in the union, so they can get a pension, and they lost their jobs anyway. And I was like, yo, y'all never listen to nothing because they black fat women. So now Natasha, this is in her back door. All that things that's going on when they put them in the high school and all that's in her back door. So now she's taking an active participation, and she's the face of a movement. And no movement will be right with a fat black woman that's the face of the. And I like Natasha. I'm not saying it to be disrespectful. I'm racially profiling. There is no fat black woman movement that shall pass. So
I've said before, I'm not really trying to vote for no black. Well, I don't want to vote for women, period. But especially any black women running for anything, even when they're Republicans, I feel like I'm not gonna go. Like I gotta vote for somebody other than her. It's just becoming a principle of mine. If and here's the thing. I know it sounds how it sounds, right? But look. If black women are gonna hold this whole black male leadership, just this fantasy of black male leadership. It's not even a fantasy, but it's a cudgel. If they're gonna hold this cudgel over our head, if we're supposed to be leaders, why the fuck would I ever vote for a woman? I'm supposed to be the leader, right? That's what my women tell me. They be like, well, you ain't the leader. Why should I respect you? Right. So I don't vote for women so I can always be in charge. There you go. Really simple.
Yeah, that's the paradox, isn't it?
All right, Hood, you sent this, you put this out there. What do you got here? Oh goddamn, OG, why OG trying to come up here when I'm about to end the stream? But
oh man, all right, but no, the thing is, we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about Chicago, and we mentioned the SKC brought this up, how they're kicking these kids out of a field. So these kids play football, and this is like where they practice and play at, and now they're going to put up a camp there for the migrants. And so think about this, Dirty. You mentioned the schools before, how the schools were just shut down years and years ago, and they sat empty for a while. And now the Latinos, one, they started using the schools for their own little private networks, and then two, those empty buildings are going to be used to house illegals now. And so do I have to bring up the Chicago educational numbers, like the illiteracy and math rates? And so not only are they not educating the black kids, they kick the black kids out of their schools, put some other people in their schools, some illegals in their school at that. Now the kids who can read and play some sports, they can't even play sports. And the thing, I keep running into like black liberal guys, like, shout out to Citizen Lou. I was on his panel for a while yesterday, chopping it up about politics and whatnot. And he was really kind of poo-pooing this whole immigration thing, because from his personal circle, it doesn't, like, from his sphere, it doesn't really touch him. But I'm like, bro, listen, if you claim to care about black people, this is happening on the ground to black people, and it's not going away, and it's only going to get worse.
It's not. And if people really listen to me instead of thinking I'm just brimstone of fire, and I'm gonna say this is as passively as I can, and as far away from a little big Nate voice as I can. Everything that's happening is because little fat black women hate black men. Everything that's happening. I was in all those rooms, with the Mark Carters and the Brian Mullins. I was in those rooms when they made this whole paradigm start in 2008, because it takes 7 years for a plan to roll out. I'm telling them what's happening. They have no vision because women can't count and they don't understand patterns. So I'm like, yo, I can tell you what the next 3 steps is going to be, little fat black woman. And they're like, oh, let's just take this photo op. You so funny. I'm like, bitch, I ain't joking. But so what happens is everything, okay, Evanston, Illinois. Evanston is a city that, quote unquote, gave reparations. They used a fall person, a first term alderman, Cicely Fleming, who used to be Cicely Wilson. My mama and my daddy first cousins. I know Cicely. And I'm telling sis the same thing, like, yo, they're using you. What they did is they had the exact same time Chicago was closing down 53 schools, Evanston was trying to give black kids 1 school, because Evanston, Illinois, all the black kids had to be bused to white schools. They had no school in the 5th ward, 5th district, whatever. They said, man, we're going to give you a school. It's going to be a charter school. All the black teachers said no. They wanted to be a public school because they don't want the responsibility of creating their own curriculum. And they don't want to have to save their money. They want the pension. So at the same time they trying to give Evanston a charter school, they taking away Chicago public schools and say, we'll give it to you charter. And they saying no. Here's the disconnect. This is why you don't let women run shit. They gave the exact same deal to everybody. The Mexicans, the whites, the Christians, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got the same deal. The Mexicans said, hell yeah. And they created a whole school system called UNO. UNO is the 2nd biggest school system behind the Chicago public school system in the state of Illinois. They getting hella bread off the charter school.
It's doing good. They doing good.
Everybody eating. Everybody eating. You know what I'm saying?
So you telling me the Mexicans can read better English than the native black kids at this point? I feel some type of way about that.
Mexicans can read contracts better than fat black bitches with degrees, because the money is the same. If you get $7,200 per child in public school, you get $7,200 per child in charter school. The difference is in public school, your teachers get paid $35 an hour. In charter school, they get paid $16. The bitches don't want to give up.
Not only that. Sorry, Dirty, but public school teachers almost can't get fired. I don't know how it is in Chicago, but I know the New York City public school system is notorious. They have a whole office building for teachers who they can't place in the school system because they have problems, quote unquote, but they can't fire them. So they got to show up for work every day, sit in this rubber room office, and clock out at the end of the day. And they're on the payroll for not teaching.
That's why I said they don't want to.
It's called the Teachers Union.
They don't want to do.
All right, well, hold on. Before let me play this real quick before I go to OG. I forgot already. What the hell going on here?
Yeah.
These are the black kids who can't have a football team because the illegals are sleeping on their field.
Wow.
They're about to have an immigrant camp on their field.
So they brought the kids up there as props in the protest?
I mean, that's what you do, right? That's what you do. You want those iconic moments, yeah?
Yeah, okay, now I see what's happening.
Wow. I'm mad at you. I ain't know this was Chicago. I was like, you look familiar. When you first started, I was like, I know dude. I'm like, I know a nigga in New York. The whole time.
Yeah, but this look, this is black people coming together for something now. We gotta get the Mexicans off the football field. We are bringing the community together to get rid of Mexico. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
This reminds me of
They
something.
put the person in charge of doing that in office.
That's not true.
That's the crazy part. Y'all vote. They voted for Brandon. They got rid of Lori Lightfoot for Brandon because Brandon was better. And now, Chicago got their own Let's Go Brandon going on.
Everybody that can read above a 3rd grade level wanted violence.
Yo, can I give a quick anecdote? It's very similar to this. Back in my hometown, I was a part of one of those urban, help young black men groups and stuff that come around every few years. And what I said that got me kicked out of the group was when we're moving right as a community, you don't have to go ask people to solve your problem for you. They'll come to you. The politicians are weak without us. They'll come to you to try to serve you. And what we were addressing was this trend of young men graduating the local high school. I went to that high school that, beats everybody in football and shit. So they go to college and they end up dropping out of college after a couple of years of ball because, they're not going pro. And they wanted to stop that. Like they were not doing good academically, but we were producing the biggest scholarships. And I was telling them it's not on the high school to do that for us. It's for us to do it. All the black men should get their sons and say, you're not playing football this next 4 years. And don't go ask the white people to solve it for you. Just don't show up. And when they stop losing championships and the high school ain't the biggest, baddest football program anymore, they'll come and ask why. And you'll say, don't worry about it. We're focusing on something that we want our young men to know. We want our young men to be educated in this particular type of history, these type of academics, and they're not getting that from the high school. So every 6 and 7 period of the day, we come and get our kids out of school and they finish the day learning what we want to do because you're not. See what I'm saying? It's a difference. Then the school will break its neck to correct the curriculum to reflect your values. You can say, we're not giving y'all no more touchdowns. You see what I mean? Black people ain't willing to do that. So we keep on going through this, like, please solve my problem for me kind of cycle, and we get played. So the football field that those kids don't have, we should own it. It's the state or the local county's football field. That's why they're able to take it and give it to whoever the latest and greatest new welfare scheme is, and it ain't us no more. We're not the minority that has to be catered to anymore. The Latin people represent larger than we do, and they contribute more than we do at a lower cost. See what I'm saying?
All right, OGJ Speed, welcome back. I ain't seen you in a minute. Glad to have you aboard, but you did come right when I was about to end the show. I don't like that, but go ahead, man.
Well, I haven't seen you in a minute, and I thought you had given up because you was doing a lot of pre-records and you wasn't having guests on. So it's good to see you back, conservative, dirty folks, and I don't see the other names up there, but I'm pretty sure
Afternoon, OG.
I know them.
SKC and Yogi Bear's son.
SKC and Yogi Bear there. Okay. What was going to happen will go happen anyway. Okay, let's see where the model came from. California. You had a president, no child left behind. The floodgates open up. Black children going to school. The Latinx children don't speak English. So now they get to be in the classroom with a teacher who's teaching them Spanish, and black people don't know no damn Spanish, but no kid could be left behind. Let's take a little further than that. By the time they get out of school, their parents is illegal, and then they had this thing that came, what was his name, Conway or something, had this bill that if your parent was illegal, that means you was illegal too. That means you stole citizenship by your parents being here. Then, we're talking about Democrats and we're talking about Republicans. Ain't nobody clean in this shit. All right. And we ain't just talking about women, we're talking about men too. And so what happened here, spread it out, especially when we had men given the illegal driving license. And that's when all shit fell out. Because you can go with any city and any state in the United States, and that city or state has to recognize driving license because they don't want to get cut from the federal government to build their highways or freeways. Okay? So the model came from here. And ain't nobody cleaning this shit. And conservatives is hitting the point about when you really look at this, we are not the minorities anymore. And yes, the most important part of this, the Democrat was looking for the extra vote, the extra boost. You don't know how many arguments me, Maxine Waters have had on WOL and Stevie Wonder Station about how did y'all let this happen. So that's my story out here in the West Coast. Got a feedback somewhere.
Yeah, that was me. My bad. You had actual arguments with Maxine Waters, like the actual Maxine Waters? Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Why is it?
What'd you say?
Why is it?
I
You
just
would
never
consider
knew.
me
I just
a
didn't know that
Democrat?
about you. I don't know what you are, but no, I just
I give you that
legit.
much. You lost this space on that one.
Right. Yeah, be all day trying to figure out what you are. But all right. But we got to
But
wrap
wait a minute
this
before
up.
you go, Bernard.
All right.
Okay, you gotta give me a minute.
You had
can't get me off.
All right.
I mean, I broke it down, and I think I took a short period of time to break down the history of how this shit happened and how it spread it all over the United States. So, where we go from here?
Is that an actual question?
I think we're
It is a question. It's not a trick question neither.
No, that is the question, especially for Black people. The old way of looking at things hasn't served you, because we're at this point now where none of the old solutions are going to solve the new questions.
Word. I think we're doomed. If you go anywhere on YouTube and follow my username, that's what I'm putting under all the comments on most things I see. I'm not sure that I see any indication that we have what it takes to overcome where we find ourselves at.
I don't think we're doomed. I think you find profit in tragedy. I believe that we're not the smallest demographic. Once you secede from Black women and start your own stuff, everybody else rebrands, because you have 0.2% of people that's transgender, and transgenders getting all type of rights. So it's not about the numbers. I just believe that men have held on to this moniker of Black, and it's like carrying dead weight. You know what the dead weight is, but you accept it as part of you. I don't accept that shit. I don't go to family reunions. I don't accept that as part of me. I think you build with like-minded people, you rebrand, just like those Trailer Park Boys did when they decided to put on tiny hats and be something different, and you move with something different. And then you enslave the rest the same way everybody else does. Nobody takes their dead weight with them.
That's interesting. You're saying, but by the time we're moving correctly, the race factor won't be the reason that we're coming together anyway.
Right. It'd be more
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. But all right. Even though OG trying to hold me hostage, I'm getting up out of here. But I'd like to thank everybody who came onto the show, and thank you, Yogi Bear. Prince Marky D. Thank you for coming up. I did like your perspective on that. Thanks again to Hood Conservative. Piece together another Saturday classic. But
Can I make a quick plug? Real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna go live real quick, because I probably can't use any of this footage, but I'm watching it right now. We woke up to a war this morning. We're getting closer and closer to World War III. Israel just declared war on. Well, Israel officially declared war on Hamas because Hamas launched a brutal sneak attack. Like, you don't even see sneak attacks like this. You wouldn't imagine seeing this. This is like a desert Pearl Harbor. So basically, you got Hamas guys infiltrating through from the beaches. I've seen video of a guy with like one of those what is it called? Like a paragliding thing. It was basically a parachute with some kind of motorized fan on the back to help them control it. Like, they're coming in with air troopers. And so right now I'm watching footage of Hamas foot soldiers going house to house, taking random Israeli civilians. They're pretty much on a killing spree right now. And Israel got caught off guard. They got hit with over 5,000 rockets from what I'm hearing. And their Iron Dome system got overwhelmed. And then on top of that, I think they attacked the Iron Dome directly. So I've seen drone footage of Hamas using drone attacks to hit Israeli targets. They've captured some tanks, and you see soldiers being dragged out of their tank right now. They caught a couple of Israeli female soldiers, and war is hell. But yeah, we woke up a lot bit closer to World War III today. So while we were talking black stuff, the world caught fire.
It's conservative. We're about 12 months behind that. We're going to spend billions of dollars with Ukraine, and we're fighting an invisible war over there. It's not what we think it is. The news we're getting over here, it's not even close what's happening. There's 6,000 men being killed in Ukraine every day. That they are training women with wooden guns. They're drafting women. Men are paying over $5,000 to leave out of that. And so we got ourselves in that in the first place with the lies and the deception. And so you're right. We're a banana peel from World War III. And I've been saying it for the last 6 months.
All right.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The best male... Welcome to Machismo...
That was my bad. I had a little Parkinson on the fingers, accidentally pushed the button. But anyway, back to the Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo... Welcome to Machismo TV. Welcome to
Same time.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
Coming out, everybody. We out of here. Peace. We gone.